Welcome to WeConnect. Thank you very much for joining us on this program. Now, over the recent years, the human resource potential of our country has in fact become our greatest strength. But just human resource potential per se is absolutely zero. It means nothing. It has to be honed. It has to be put into the right channel. It has to be channelized perfectly. And who better doing that than my guest today? Professor Rooshikumar Pandya is my guest here. He's coming all the way from Bombay, and he's spending a very short while with us here on WeConnect, and it's our pleasure to have him on our program. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Very, very much indeed. Now, I said that our human resource potential is our strength.
True.
Is that right?
Absolutely. Because if you have money, if you want to start an industry, you can buy the best machinery, you can have the best technology, but who is going to manage all that? And that is the people. And if you don't know how to manage people and get the best out of them, you're not going to make it.
Right. But when you talk about people and our potential, do you believe in fact that it is untapped?
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel that people have unlimited amount of potential. Even from, since you come from Christian background, even if you look at from Judeo-Christian tradition, we are created in the image of God.
Yes.
And which means good.
Yes.
If you look at it from Hindu-Buddhist perspective, then we are part of the ultimate reality, the Brahman.
Right.
In which case, we have phenomenal potential, but it's not realized. You know, research suggests that we hardly use part of our potential. So you have to get it out of people, you have to hone it in, and you have to train them for that.
Right.
To bring out the best in people.
So then, having said all of this, you believe then we are ripe for training?
Absolutely. You need to give training to people all times, because the learning should never stop.
Right. But do you think, in your own vast, very, very vast experience, that training actually hones those skills? Surely there's something that has to be inherent, a quality that is inherent in me, maybe to make me a good leader, make me to be a good team person. Don't you believe that something has to be inherent in me to start with, something for you as a trainer par excellence to be actually working with?
It helps if people have, but I have the basic belief. There's a beautiful Sanskrit shloka I'd like to share with you. That amantram aksharo nasti. There's not a single letter of an alphabet out of which you cannot make a mantra. Amantram aksharo nasti, nasti mulam anaushadam. There's not a single root of a tree out of which you cannot make medicine. Ayogya purusho nasti. There's not a single person who is incapable. But the yojakas tatra dulabha, but one who brings out best from people, those people are rare.
Right. But having said that, so you're saying that, yes, I can do it, you can do it, you can work with anybody is in point of fact what you're saying. So the next logical question is, do you believe that Indian companies and the Indian business environment is actually paying enough attention to this very thing that we're talking about?
No, as a matter of fact, it doesn't. When anywhere there is a budget crisis, the first budget that cuts is the training budget.
That's terrible, actually.
Absolutely.
Right. So it doesn't actually pertain only to people in the service industry. Would you say then that this training process should be right across the board in every company, in every walk of life, really?
Every company at every level. Right from bottom to the top or top to the bottom. And unless the top people take interest in it, it's not going to come down.
So do you train the top people as well?
I do. I've trained people from starting from peon to the chairman.
Really?
Yes.
Somebody at the chairman's level, are they willing to learn? Do they want to learn?
Yes,
it's a question of, isn't there an ego involved here?
There is ego, but you can work with the ego. No?
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Because ultimately people at the psychological level are the same. You know. So when you deal with them, they realize that something is to be done and something needs to be done, they go for it.
Right. In your experience, yet again, would you say that it's, in a business school, for instance, that this is something that we should be nurturing, we should be training young people as they are getting an MBA or as they are just entering the workforce? Or would you say it's okay, mid-level, mid-career level, fine, if not, chairman of the board level? So do you think that the most important areas at the business school level?
Business schools just came about,
yes,
not recently.
Yes.
They have not been around for 100 years or so in India
true,
at least.
True.
So there also the training, there are a lot of things which are lacking there. For example, in culturally speaking, Indians are not team workers. You mentioned teamwork.
Yes.
Just to give you the cultural reason for it, as I see it.
Yes.
See, we are the only country which has been invaded by just about every race. And we survived, not done badly, 5,000 years.
Yes.
This is a good record.
Yeah.
In the process, two things have happened. One that is positive, we are highly resilient. You go to any country and Indians have done better than the natives.
Absolutely. Right.
So that's the best part. They can survive in any circumstances. We have done that. Negative aspect of that is that we are highly defensive. And when your property is pilfered and pirated and you are maimed and murdered, you want to hold on to whatever you have. And teamwork is about sharing resources while we are trained to hold things, you know. We are the biggest hoarders. Maybe in Tamil Nadu there's a maximum amount of gold more than Fort Knox in America.
So they say.
So we hoard, you know, we hoard things and we don't share. Teamwork is about sharing. I tell you, when Sam Pitroda Saab came to Maruti Suzuki in Rajiv Gandhi Saab's time, at that time there was a joke going around that one Indian is equivalent to 10 Japanese. They can produce as much as 10 Japanese.
Right.
Put 10 Indians into a team, you put 10 Indians into a team and they produce as well as one Japanese.
That's not very good, is
That's
it?
bad.
That's not
That's
good at
very
all.
bad.
How do you teach me then to be a good team worker? What is it that you actually say? What do you tell me? You know, this is the way I want you to be a good team worker.
Okay, I don't tell you anything. I work with a group of people and give them exercises where they realize the benefits of working in a team. So there are a set of exercises that we have devised which we work with, and they realize at the end of each exercise. I just did a whole lot of course across the board for one of the multinationals because one of the problems they had was the teamwork. So they put all from chairman down, everybody was there in the course, and it was a heterosexual group. So the different people, it's not the same level group. So I wanted to get rid of the inhibition also, that when here in India the boss is there, so you don't say anything.
Yes.
So that part also was part of the processing that we had to deal with. And so when they go through this process, they realize that this beneficial is good for you, the resources shared will multiply, and you will not lose out anything.
Right. Now, I'm very interested, and I'm going to take off from what you just
Please
said. My boss comes along and says, I want you to do it this way. I
Right.
say, well, perhaps, what if my boss came to me and said, perhaps there's a better way of doing this. Can we think of a better way of doing this?
Right.
I think that somebody like you should be paying far, far, far more attention to the chairman of the board than perhaps the peon or the clerk or the office boy.
I agree with you. That's what I said, that it should come from top down. If training is going to work, it should come from top down.
Right. Does it actually happen like that?
No, it
Or-
doesn't.
It
Doesn't
doesn't.
happen.
Okay, that's a very interesting point. I'm going to ask you to hold on for a very short while. We'll take a very quick break here and reconnect, and then we'll get right back with you. Please don't go anywhere.